Our regular programming will not be seen this evening so that we may bring you UConn basketball.
His teammates carried on without him Wednesday night in the victory over New Hampshire. But Cornelius has recovered. He will start tonight as the Huskies of Connecticut take on the Terriers of Boston University.
Live from the field house on the campus of the University of Connecticut, WFSB Sports presents UConn basketball. Tonight, the UConn Huskies will host the Terriers of Boston University. UConn basketball is sponsored in part by Genesee Beer. You can count on Jenny Taste because it's brewed in just one place. Genesean is believin'. And by your Coca-Cola bottler, who reminds you to have a Coke and a smile. And by Century Toyota of Wallingford, New England's #1 volume dealer. Here with all the play-by-play action is WFSB Sports Director Dave Smith.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the field house at Stores. We have the usual situation here. Absolute bedlam. Working with me again for the 4th consecutive year, D. Rowe, the former head coach here. D, before we talk about basketball, the soccer team won today.
Just absolutely incredible. They blew the lights out of this place when they announced the score, Dave. Tremendous.
They beat Eastern Illinois. The final was 2-1. They will play Alabama A&M for all the marbles tomorrow afternoon at 5:30. All right, now basketball. Boston University, 3-0. The Huskies at 2-0. We saw them last year. We had a good game. We expect another one tonight. This is a good team that's in here.
It's a very good ball club, Dave. I think you look for very much the same kind of game, but I think the key tonight is Connie Thompson. We look for him to start. I think the big question will be how long he can go against their pressure. But I say he's key because he's got to handle, trail the play. He may come to the middle. He may come in the wing. But he has the cool head, the composure, and the style to really keep himself and keep this ball club together against pressure.
Well, he will start. We'll keep an eye on him and see how that ankle looks. And if there's any doubt at all, I'm sure Don Perno will get him out of there.
Well, BU will want to tire him. They'll want to tire the other aircraft carrier, Alexinas. If BU will want a fast, up-tempo game, there'll be an awful lot of scoring. I think it'll be a fun ball game, Dave.
All right, we'll get back and kick it off in just a moment. Boston University and the University of Connecticut. Roger Baker is the public address announcer, and he'll have the starting lineups for us. That we're having trouble picking up Roger Baker. That is Brett Brown, a junior guard from South Portland, will start in the backcourt, along with number 31, Jay Twyman, a junior from Cincinnati, Ohio. He is 6'4", and yes, he is the son of Jack Twyman, who played for the Cincinnati Royals a number of years ago. Number 24, Gary Plummer, a 6'9" sophomore from Detroit. You have John Teague from Anderson, Indiana. He is at 6'5". He will start in the forecourt. He was a late addition to the starting lineup. And Arturo Brown, a 6'6" forward from Nazareth High School in Brooklyn, will also play up front. Now we have the Huskies of Connecticut in the backcourt. Carl Hobbs in his sophomore year from Cambridge, Massachusetts, where of course he played with Patrick Ewing at Ridgeon Latin High School. Norman Bailey from Northwest Catholic High School in West Hartford, Connecticut, in his sophomore year, and he's been quite a story. We'll develop that for you as the evening progresses. Chuck Alexinas from Morris Mountain from Wamogo High School in his senior year. From Bridgeport, Michael McKay, again, a senior. This is the last hurrah for Mike McKay, Chuck Alexinas, and of course, Cornelius Thompson from Middletown High School. He's the one that people come to see. So there are your starting lineups. And now the crowd here at the Fieldhouse at Stores has been asked to rise for the playing of our national anthem. The officials for tonight's game, we have 3 officials working the game: John Fontana, Jim Potter, and Joe Mingle. John Fontana will throw it up at center court, and that will be the last time we will see a referee toss it up tonight.
Unless we go to OT.
Unless we go to overtime, because this year in college basketball, you alternate possessions on jump ball situations.
And I hope, David, they have a teachers meeting before next year.
All right, excuse me, I want to get in one more time before we start the game. Those just joining us, Connecticut did win their soccer game. They play Alabama A&M for all the marbles tomorrow afternoon out in Palo Alto, California at 5:30, beating Eastern Illinois 2-1. Pedro DeBrito and Elvis Comrie, the goal scorers for the Huskies, who got 2 goals in the first half and held off Eastern Illinois this afternoon. All right, we're underway with basketball. The Huskies controlling the tap. That is Carl Hobbs moving it up. Mike McKay, Norm Bailey out front, Corny Thompson, and Chuck Alexanis down low. The ball off the hands of Mike McKay along the sideline. So immediately a turnover for the Huskies, and the Terriers of Boston University will bring it up.
Look for Connecticut here, David, man-to-man, and they'll put some pressure on.
This is Brett Brown. That is Twyman. Plummer is number 24. Again, now it's Twyman. He can stick it from almost anywhere. 44 is Arturo Brown. Now Plummer loses, and the Huskies will move it up. So both teams a little bit shaky on their initial possessions.
A little surprise here, Dave. BU goes back in a set zone, 2-3 zone. I'm a little bit surprised based on what Rick Pitino told me coming into the ball game. They've been a pressure team.
Ricky Pitino is a pepper pot. We'll see him up and down all day along that BU bench. Cordy is going to force the action, and it's not there. But losing out of bounds, John Teague. John Teague is starting for Johnny Ray Wall.
I think basically that's to get a bigger guy in the backcourt to play Norman Bailey. However, that would be on a man-to-man matchup, so as I said, I'm a little bit surprised at the setback zone.
Again, no score. We played 1 minute 10 seconds. Hobbs is way off the mark, and the ball again knocked out of bounds. And they say that it was last touched by the Huskies, so BU will have it.
Connecticut, I think, Dave, a much improved team defensively this year with the addition of Norm Bailey at the backcourt position.
Good defense by Hobbs, and the basket from the baseline by Gary Plummer.
Bailey just gives you that big guy in the backcourt position to play the big guy defensively.
I beg your pardon. That was John Teague with the first basket. 2-0. Boston University leads. Alexanis. Chuck Alexanis ties it at 2. And here come the Screamers. A little something I think the crowd picks up from the Villanova cheering section.
Maybe the Palestra. I'll tell you, look for Pitino to get out of the zone, because if Connecticut gets the ball down low too many times, it'll be lights out. Alexanis much more active this year than he was last. Made a very fine move then.
All right, we are tied at 2. Brett Brown with Hobbs. And Hobbs was with him. The defense was there, but a fine play by Brown.
But Brown don't want to take that one back off the glass, Dave.
Yeah. 4-2. McKay, who had a fine night. Had a fine night the other night against New Hampshire with 25. I just finished my thought. Corny will tie it at 4. And he went up and came down on that ankle and seems to be in good shape.
Huskies have really keyed in their man-to-man defense all year.
A fine pass from Teague underneath, but out of bounds until the turnover for Boston University.
You're going to see a smorgasbord of defenses. Last time down, BU was 1-2-2. Now they're back 2-3. Both clubs use an awful lot of defenses.
UConn showing patience that we haven't always seen in the
Well,
past.
this is excellent. Actually, the half-court games plays to their advantage. I happen to think, though, Dave, that Connecticut can really have a heck of a running game this year, too.
We have a whistle and a foul is called, or is it? 4-4, that is Arturo Brown. It was before the shot that, or the move that McKay made to the basket. So no foul shots will be taken. Johnny Ray Wall checks in. Arturo Brown will leave. Johnny Ray Wall in his senior year played at Albany High School for Coach Paul Lyons.
And look fatigued to go at a forward spot here.
Hobbs from way outside. 6-4, the Huskies on top.
Hobbs is shooting about 60%, which is a change over last year, and when he shows that shot, he's going to be real tough.
Warren Bailey with the aggressive defense. Twyman has not been able to get in position for a shot. Here's a pretty play underneath, but an offensive foul on Teague as Hobbs was there to take it.
That's team defense, Dave. Hobbs makes a big play to get that. Now here comes the pressure.
That score you just saw was incorrect. UConn leads 6-4. Triple team. But the press is broken. They have a 2-on-1 now. Here's McKay, and he can't handle the ball.
Dave, here's where Connecticut must score and finish it off and also keep their composure. It's a big key in this ball game.
Nice pass underneath, but a walking violation on Gary Plummer.
I mean, that happened because Norman Bailey left the weak side to pick up Alexinus' man.
We have 15 minutes, 40 seconds remaining first half. The Huskies lead it 6-4.
Here's the 1-2-1-1 half quarter, three-quarter, I should say.
Alexinus. Oh, he's got that soft touch.
That's what I said about finishing off, Dave. Nothing prettier than that.
Norman Bailey coming over to lay the lumber to Gary Plummer. So we have the whistle and the foul on Norman. Again, no free throws will be taken. We have a timeout now on the floor. We have a timeout on the floor with 15 minutes, 18 seconds remaining first half. The Huskies lead at 8-4, and we will return to Storrs in just a moment. On top 8-4 over Boston University. Again, we are back live at the Fieldhouse of Storrs. UConn leading BU 8-4.
Dave, BU has been averaging 88 points a ball game, but I really think that will not be the case tonight. Connecticut's defense has just been too strong all year, and I think one of the keys to their early season success is the job they've done defensively.
Well, they beat St. Francis of New York, they beat Delaware State, and they beat the University of Massachusetts, a team in a rebuilding stage the other night. So they really haven't been tested at all.
Absolutely.
Massachusetts starting 4 freshmen, starting from scratch, rebuilding the program there, and hopefully they will get back playing competitive basketball as they did into the mid-70s.
Rick Pitino was there when they were really doing it with Jack Lehman.
Norman Bailey with those quick hands knocks it away. Corney picks it up, and the Huskies once again on the move. Corney wants the ball on the far side.
That time Hobbs really drove the ball up the floor, got the break started. Corney finished it with a good shot. Here are the Huskies in their 1-2-2 press.
This is Twyman, his first shot, way off the mark, and Alexinus has everything his way as BU is dropping back to go on defense. Now here's Mike McKay. Tough break for him, rims the basket, and Arturo Brown back in. There's the rebound for BU, who trails 10-4.
Here's UConn's 1-2-2 defense with Storm and Norman right on the point, and he drops low with the ball in the corner.
Brett Brown is 2 for 2. He's got 4 of the 6 points. We've got bodies all over the floor, no whistle.
Carl Hobbs says, hey, ref, let's give us something here.
That'd be a foul one way or the other, he's saying, even if it was on me. Here's Thorny again.
The man is alive. You watch the follow through on his shot. Any young people watching the ball game, just great follow through on that shot.
Well, he sat out the game over New Hampshire the other night. You know that had to bother him. He was laughing about it afterwards. The guys played so well without him.
I asked him if he wanted to coach, you know, and he said, no way. That I don't want an ulcer.
Or take the heat that the coach at the University of Connecticut must suffer with year in and year out. This is Brown, Arturo Brown. Nice move to the baseline. Pretty shot. And BU is hanging tough. They're only down by 4, 12 to 8. Look at Hobbs through everybody. He's going to hold it up and lose the ball. A little too much.
Too much, but that play again, not in the statistics, Dave, but Norman Bailey goes after Johnny Ray Wall and makes him travel. That won't show any place except the people that know basketball know what a great play Norman just made.
Really causes a turnover after Hobbs had turned it over. So we're a little out of control at each end. Alex Innes saves, but nobody there. I think the pass caught him unaware.
Huskies set 2-3 here. Again, Bailey gives him the big guard outside.
This is Twyman, and he is an outstanding shooter. Check the stats on him in the first few games. Where did our stat sheet go as we look at Rick Pitino? Right here, as Hobbs will leave, Thorny will leave, Vernon Giscombe is in, playing the backcourt. Bruce Kaczynski will come in, and they're going to go slow with Thorny coming off that ankle.
He looked to be a little bit winded then, too.
Twyman is shooting 29 for 47 the first 3 games, 61%. So you can see how important he is to the Huskies. Here is Vernon Giscombe. And he's had some trouble getting going here the first 3 games of the season.
Shooting 33%. The kid is a great shooter. He'll come out of it.
Well, the pass goes awry. I had thought that Vernon had tipped it out of bounds, but the official, right on the spot, Jim Potter says no.
This is a 2-2-1 press. It really slows you up.
So Giscombe is working in the backcourt with Norman Bailey. Here's Alex Innes, triple teamed, and he is fouled from behind by Johnny Ray Wall. Again, no free throws will be taken.
BU then day was in a 1-2-2 defense themselves, and the ball goes down inside to Chuck. It was like a swarm of bees all over him.
Gary Plummer checks in, and Johnny Ray Wall will sit it out for a while. He has 2 fouls. There is McKay, and he just can't find the range, but Kaczynski is there to put it back up and in.
Kaczynski's really matured. I think that trip to Yugoslavia did an awful lot for him. The Huskies are back now and pressure themselves.
Did he get knocked around a little bit over there? They play rough basketball over there.
They really bang on the international rules, and no one's much better at it than Yugoslavia.
14-10, the Huskies by 4. Here is Twyman. And from behind, Kaczynski blocked the shot. It is out of bounds, and Giscombe was the last to touch it.
Great effort by Cuzzy that time. Got beat, and then he came back and made the play on the shot.
Without falling from behind, invariably, you'll get the whistle on a play like that. Brett Brown has tossed it up 3 times, and he has 6 points. So how's he doing? Yeah, he's doing fine. 14-12 as BU right there with Connecticut. And now the turnover as Bailey, a poor pass to Kaczynski. And will go the other way. There's Giscombe.
He's got great speed, just electrifying speed. I think a lot of people will misread Connecticut this year and think they've got to play the half-court game. Connecticut can play the running game as well.
Jay Twyman, 16-14.
That's a pretty good answer.
Yeah, sure was. He was all alone on the baseline.
That's the way to beat the pressure. You got to push it into the middle. This is BU's 2-3 set.
Thompson's off the bench. He'll be back in a moment. Mike McKay forcing it again, but this time he hits.
I tell you, Dave, that had to come. He missed his first 2 or 3, but just by a little.
So with 10 minutes to go here in the first half, 18-14, the Huskies by 4. Alex Sinnis right with Brown. And we have a foul on Alex Sinnis. We also have a timeout on the floor with 9:56 remaining. The Huskies lead at 18-14. We'll return to Storrs in just a moment. Back live, D, the steal by Giscombe.
Great play by Vernon. He has electrifying speed. Here he really takes it away and makes a big run at the hoop. Held up very well as he went in knowing that the defender was coming down and really take a shot at him. He might have got hit then, and he wants to make sure he can at least get the deuce and maybe a 3-point play.
So the score is 18-14. The Huskies on top. It will be Boston University ball off the foul by Chuck Alex Sinnis, who has left the ball game. He has just the one foul, but he'll sit it out for a while as Kaczynski, Thompson, McKay, Giscombe, and Jimmy Sullivan.
Sully's a role player this year, and he loves being part of it.
He didn't see much action a year ago, but he's out there now, and he played well in the first 2 games against Maine and New Hampshire.
Huskies always out of bounds, 2-3.
Nice pass by Plummer, and Cornelius with a block, but they're going to whistle him for a foul. And John Fontana was right there. I think Corny got him with a body at least.
Nice play by the big guy that time.
Well, he saved 2 points. Taking a look at it. Here he is. Yeah, he got...
When Corny hits you, I think you're going to stay hit a little bit.
So Brown will go to the line and shoot a pair.
Arturo Brown is probably the most talented athlete, according to Rick Pitino, on his ball club.
Coming in, Brown had run to the free throw line just well 14 times, hitting only 5. That's dreadful. Only 1, so you can see that he's having some problems from the line.
There's a pretty good trap there with 2 big guys on the little man, Giscombe.
I like the way BU hustles. They never stop. They're at you 40 minutes. We saw that a year ago in the game we did in Boston.
Very intense, although he's the real shooter. What I was going to say, Dave, very intense, but I'm surprised they're not using as many people as Rick Pitino normally uses.
Well, we have a long way to go. Just come again with that bucket. Nice pass by Brown underneath. Kaczynski again, blocking from behind.
Because he's really matured this year.
Plummer will finally have enough room to put it in.
I tell you, Kaczynski overplayed it. Then he came back to almost save it, knocked the shot away. Nice, Michael.
Zero mentioned earlier, you have to finish it off.
Got to finish it. It started at this end with Cornelius, as we said at the top of the show, Dave. He's the cool guy. He's the guy that's got to keep everybody together.
So our score is 20-17 as McKay could not finish it off. Here is Twyman, and he is just a great shooter. BU back to within 1 at 20-19.
It's opened up a little here, Dave, but Connecticut, if they can't get the break, Don Perno doesn't want to get them scattered. He wants to pull it up and run a good half-court game.
Mike McKay.
He doesn't want that shot.
Not at all. Kaczynski will save it. Rick Pitino screaming at the refs that the Huskies were in the 3-second lane for 5. Ronnie Thompson deadly from 17 feet. The Huskies again by 3 at 22-19.
This is what makes him such a great player. Here's Patino looking for a change right here. He wants something from John Fontana, and that's a foul on the hand, I guess. Oh, they don't call those.
Well, we have a couple of substitutions here. Plummer checked out. Johnny Ray Wall checked in. Norm Bailey is in. Jimmy Sullivan will sit down for a while. We have 7:45 remaining in the half. And there's a poor play by Brett Brown. He's played so well to this point.
His dad is the assistant coach of this ball club and coached him in high school at South Portland. I think that'll put a little bit of a strain on anybody.
I think so.
Huskies doing a good job beating the pressure to half court. Corney's such a tremendous threat up high, Dave.
Cannot get it. Here's Corney. He's a threat underneath as well.
He's not bad in there either.
24-19 as Corney Thompson got a bit of a show here.
I think Corney really missed the game the other night.
Arturo Brown can't get the roll. Corney with a rebound, and Sullivan moves back in. With a three-guard offense, Norman playing up front now. Norm Bailey
Shot a line drive there. With Norman, there's no hanging the head. He gets right back on the other end.
Arturo Brown can't hit it. It's Teague underneath now. The ball knocked away, and the Huskies have taken it away again. Jimmy Sullivan.
Watch for Patino to call a timeout here. He did it.
Rick Patino has asked for 5, so we will take this opportunity to take a break with the Huskies leading the Terriers 26-19. With D-Row, Dave Smith back live at the Fieldhouse scores 26-19. The Huskies over Boston University. Corney Thompson, the story here in the first half, coming off the sprained ankle. We have him with 10 points and 3 rebounds.
Dave, I tell you, the intensity that he is showing right now, there's no way in the whole world they'll have to wheel him out on the court if they're going to keep him out of another ball game.
Well, he appears to be in
Patino was
the same old Corney.
Absolutely. Excuse me, Dave. Patino was screaming at Fontana here. That timeout, basically, Dave, I think, is to get his ball club together and really slow down the crowd. Home crowd make a lot of noise, particularly came alive on Corney's shot, rather on Jimmy Sullivan's excellent jump shot from the corner.
Well, it was a 3- and 4-point game for the longest time. Now the margin 7, and Patino wanted to talk it over and slow things down. Now we have a whistle and a foul on Norm Bailey. A bit too aggressive as he was all over John Teague. That is 2 on Norman. Quite a story there, D. He really hasn't handled the ball that much his high school days, his freshman year, and now he's been asked to do it when he is in the backcourt. And now we have Brian Buckaloo, one of the freshmen in, from Somerville, New Jersey, number 44.
I tell you, Bailey is nothing but fun to coach.
Oh, my. Well, we have a whistle, and a foul is called on Norm Bailey, and one of the officials, I believe, was going to call traveling. Look again, D. Oh, you got to call that. That's a foul.
I think it's a good call.
Yeah. It's 1st and 10. Curno's upset.
I can understand that. I think what he wanted another call from Potter, who was standing right next to him.
He wanted traveling.
And maybe he got the travel before he got the foul. I think that's what Don wanted.
And Joe Mingle says, no, sir, it was a foul. And indeed it was. He came over and blasted him. Norman now has 3.
And he'll be out of there shortly.
Thompson is ready to check in. Here is Twyman. The shot is blocked by McKay and saved nicely by Teague. Teague's all alone, and he can't buy it. Chuck Alexander, just the presence. Total intimidation by Chuck Alexinas.
Excellent defensive play by the big guy then.
There's the ball off the hands of Boston University. Norm Bailey had nobody there to throw it to, and he's going to sit down and collect his thoughts. Dave Corney will come in.
Dave,
excuse me. I just wanted to ask you, D, he's playing guard, then he's playing forward. Can that be confusing?
No, I don't think what they call a position doesn't really matter, Dave. I think he's a swing guy and will play all over the court and is just going to hustle his brains out all the time, both offensively and defensively.
Disco. Alex Sinis is grabbed underneath by Jay Twyman.
I tell you what, that may be the most active I've seen Chuck really go up and tear that front board. He's really played well this year in his rebounding, been much more active.
Arturo Brown will sit it out for a while as Plummer is back in. Gary Plummer, number 24. And the ball simply thrown away by Mike. Mike has expression on his face as if to say, hey, somebody's supposed to catch those.
Somebody got to get at it.
Yeah, right. 5 minutes, 1 second remaining first half. How Hobbs is in. Giscombe will sit out. And we're playing musical chairs here with the rosters. Just about everybody's seeing action.
Well, both clubs play very intense basketball, and they change defense a lot, and they press a lot.
This is Buckalow on Wall. Now it's Plummer. This is Teague. The ball batted away.
Real
No,
good,
they say it was thrown away.
real good defense by Alex Siniston as well as Thompson.
Not a shot, it was a pass that went out of bounds. Jump ball, and the ball will go to Boston University. Now, these are the rule that D-Row and I will be on the record right now. We can't stand it.
I don't like it at all. To be very honest with you, I think it penalizes good defense. I'm sure there are reasons why the rule was changed.
Well, they say the officials can't throw the ball up straight, which is ridiculous. There's no reason you can't throw a ball up straight 3 feet.
There's an awful lot of research, obviously, that goes into any change of rules.
I'm sure.
But from a coaching standpoint, I really hate the rule.
Corny Thompson drew his second foul. I was at the Meadowlands the other night when UCLA was trailing Rutgers by 1, and there was a jump ball situation with 6 seconds to go as we watched the replay. 6 seconds to go, the ball went to Rutgers, and they win the game by 3, and UCLA never had a shot at it. So that rule may have cost them the game. They might have lost anyway. But
I think you're going to end up with an awful lot of people working on out-of-bounds plays, both defensively and offensively.
Jay Twyman.
I tell you, better not give him any more daylight.
We have him with 8 on 4 bombers. It is 26-21.
And the tempo has changed here. It's turned over a little bit toward BU.
Carl Hobbs is, again, trying to do everything himself. He does have 4 of the men out there.
Sully's shot put it at 26, and it hasn't got off there since.
Underneath, we have Alex Sinis laying it in way after the whistle. We have a foul. Yes, it's on Plummer. He raises his hand.
Good play by Michael McKay looking for the big guy right here. Real good pass.
And before Chuck moves, the foul by Plummer from behind. Buckalow will check out. Kaczynski is back in.
Chuck's an awful big target in there. When the Husky people outside can get the ball in, he's a tremendous threat.
26-21. UConn by 5. 3:40 to go, first half. Mike McKay, and he just hasn't been able to find it tonight. He shot so well against New Hampshire, but he had more room against New Hampshire too.
Had more room. That was good range, though. He's right in his location there.
Here is Twyman, and a little bit of pressure that time.
A little more pressure, and the scouting report said with a hand in his face, he's absolutely not quite the shooter that he is without that hand. So there was more pressure that time. Husky's got to burn a little bit from outside just because they're really clogged up with it.
Well, Carl Hobbs, the little man, 28-21, the first bucket since some time when Jimmy
Sully hit
Sullivan
the corner shot.
Yeah, with the timeout, some 7 minutes to go. Good play by Plummer from the baseline. And BU hangs tough. They're only down 5, 28-23.
This game has not developed into nearly as much of a running game as I had expected. I thought we'd have a high-scoring ball game. However, BU has been very content to sit back in the zone, which has been effective.
Kaczynski is grabbed, and the foul is on Gary Springer.
BU has pressed, Dave, but, you know, they haven't really done it all out all the time as they did last year.
We have another timeout. We have 2 minutes, 12 seconds remaining in the first half. UConn leads Boston University 28-23. Dave Smith and D. Rowe at the jam-packed field house on the campus of the University of Connecticut at Storrs. 2 minutes, 12 seconds remaining. The Huskies by 5. While we were away, Dee and I were just remarking that Rick Pitino has used only 6 men, and that's out of character for him.
You know, he's done without the all-out pressure for the whole 40 minutes, although he said yesterday probably would take it on and off, but he loves pressure. He wants to tire the aircraft carriers, you know, the guys like Thompson and Kaczynski and Alex Innes. Of course, with Connie being out all week, he's the guy that's a tremendous key. He's had just an outstanding first half. Don Perno, of course, has rested him throughout.
Bruce Kaczynski will go to the free throw line. He was in the act of shooting when he was fouled by Plummer before we broke for commercial. And Bruce is having a tough time. He is now 4 for 9 on the season.
He's a kid that is really, I think, matured a lot. He was a sound player coming in here, having played for Fred Mallon, but he's really matured tremendously since that time. He's got to shake off those 2 misses, however.
Yeah, he's 4 for 10, which is not good in any league.
Great effort by McKay then. He got over the top on the screen, Dave, and did a good job on
Twyman.
On Twyman. Great job.
That was Plummer with a missed shot. So the Huskies now, with 1:48 remaining, have a chance to equal their largest margin of 7 points. Larry Blucher, number 24, now in. This is Hobbs, and Carl Hobbs is simply deadly from outside.
Get Hobbs in his range, and he's a good shooter. He's had a great shooting year so far this year, and he'll make those defenses honest if he continues to play that way.
Well, they'll have to come out and keep him honest, as you said. That'll certainly open things up underneath. 30-23, the Huskies by 7. This is Blucher all over Wall.
He is a tough nut on defense, Dave. He's 6'7" or 8", and he's playing a guy 6'3".
Jay Twyman had it stuffed back in his face. The ball out of bounds off the Huskies. And that is not where we expect to see Jay Twyman. Let's take another look at that. Well, you see the ball going out of bounds. Wall will toss it in. And it goes off the hands of Blucher as Twyman looked to throw it up, I believe. He wanted that ball to take the quick shot. Teague will come in now. Johnny Ray Wall will sit down.
Blucher, Dave, is so active. He's in the ball game every single minute. He's just an outstanding freshman.
He is from Yonkers, New York.
This is a big team in their 2-3 zone, but also a very active team. They're obviously holding for the last shot. Rick Pitino wants to go in at 5, not at 7 or 9. And they should take that last shot if they can get it down around the 7-second mark.
Well, BU is sitting on it. The crowd is applauding the Huskies. But they're really not doing that much on defense. They don't have to. We're down to 18 seconds now.
You're going to look for Plummer to make the shot. I beg your pardon, Twyman.
Here is a whistle now and a foul on Larry Blucher as Twyman made the move.
Twyman made that move at 9 seconds. It was a little bit early, but he felt he had the ball in his possession, wanted to make it. Here he goes baseline. A little bit of a foul, little touch.
That is the 7th team foul on Connecticut.
Don Perno was worried going in that Connecticut might very well be in foul trouble.
Gee, you can say we. Everyone knows where your paycheck comes from. Twyman this year from the line. You know what a fine shooter he is. He's only 5 for 9. Now 6 for 10, so his percentage is even 60%.
You see, but there'll be 6 seconds left, and Connecticut will be able to get a shot off in that time. Connecticut is running a long, what they call a long out-of-bounds play. If it goes through, the ball will be brought in long to Hobbs or Giscombe with McKay deep.
was fouled by Bruce Kavinsky with 5 seconds remaining. So Brown will go to the line, and he will shoot a pair. Look again, Kavinsky gets him with the body. He blocked the ball, but the body certainly was there. No argument from Curnow. He had a good view of it. It happened right in front of him. And now Arturo Brown, who I mentioned earlier, came in here shooting 5 for 14. He's 1 for 2 tonight from the line.
See, he puts the ball right in the palm of his hand flat. There's no daylight, and it's pretty tough to be a great shooter with that ball that flat in the palm of your hand.
As a team, Boston University shooting 64% on the season. Well, he missed them both. Now the Huskies will hustle on up and try and get a shot off.
And they've got a foul.
And they have a foul, and Patino can't believe it.
Patino's going bananas right now.
Patino across the way. You see him in the corner of your screen. The buzzer sounded. Patino says it happened after the buzzer. John Fontana says no. So Carl Hobbs will experience the loneliest experience there is in basketball on that free throw line.
I'll tell you, if he puts it in, Connecticut goes in the locker room with a good first half. Patino trying to get a little bit with Mingle right now.
Hobbs on the year. This is only the 4th time he's been to the line. He is 3 for 4.
That's why, Dave, you really don't want to go to the hole quite as early as twice.
So we'll take another look at it. Certainly there was a foul that questioned the timing of it, which had Patino so upset. Well,
Maybe he got it right there.
There's the foul, whether it happened before the horn or not. Well, obviously it did because the official said so. He has the final word, the only word. Our score at halftime, the University of Connecticut 32, Boston University 24. We'll return after these commercial messages. 32-24, a good half of basketball, D-Row.
Great half, Dave. I think a very exciting game. Huskies are up 8. Different kind of a game, really, than what we had expected. I thought we'd see an awful lot more of a rack-type game. Wasn't that at all?
Gordy Thompson again, you can't say enough about him. It's been that way for 4 years here.
Well, he's only been the MVP 3 years in a row. He's got a great supporting cast. I think going into the game, the thing we thought would happen has happened, and that's that Kwani, he's brought it in, he's been the trail man, he's been the middle man, he's been the wing man against the pressure, and he's been effective in all spots.
Before too long, the University of Connecticut is going to be playing big-time basketball. Tough. If this is not, it will be soon.
I like to think this is big time right here,
yeah,
Dave.
I think it is, but I'm talking about the Big East Conference. You got a team like Villanova last night who just destroyed Boston College at the Meadowlands.
I haven't talked to anybody that saw that game. I'm very surprised at the score, knowing the way Boston College plays. A lot of trades, a lot of passes, a lot of movement, very unselfish, pressure. It's got to be an indication of the kind of club Villanova has. We had BC with 8 out of 9 starters back, or 8 of 9 guys back that played a lot last year.
They won the conference last year.
They took all the marbles last year. Same coach, same players, or most of the same. I'm very surprised, although I understand Pinckney with Villanova is just outstanding.
Yeah, Villanova won the game by 25 points or so. Then in the nightcap of that doubleheader, you have Seton Hall, who's supposed to be a patsy, beats the University of Houston by 2 points.
I tell you, you don't think Dave Gavitt, all the people, Richie Regan, the AD at Seton Hall, all the people in Big East, just so excited about that. His little Seton Hall, great tradition of basketball years back, sort of the little guy in this league, the little guy on the block, if you will, at this time. Knock off those big guys from Texas, the University of Houston. I think just a tremendous win for new coach Hadi Mahan, but a great win for this league and also for Eastern basketball.
Not to mention what Rutgers did at UCLA the night before, talking about Eastern basketball. It's on the come, it really is.
I saw UCLA today, Dave, against Notre Dame. Super win. UCLA looked tremendous, so that makes that win for Rutgers so much greater for them, for the East, than one might have imagined.
Back to the Big East for a second. You've got a team like Syracuse. By the way, we'll have a game with Seton Hall later on here on Channel 3, later in the season. Talk about Syracuse. They're playing St. Joe's of Philly tonight in the Carrier Classic. They won to the NIT to the finals last year before they were knocked off by Tulsa.
New coach, Jimmy Lynam, is going to Portland with his old coach, Jack Jack Ramsey, and I think that transition may be difficult because Jimmy was part of the great tradition of St. Joseph's basketball. But that should be an exciting ball game.
We better not talk about the Big East anymore before we get to Georgetown.
I gotta say one thing though, a great coup for Dave Gavitt, for the people in this league, when he took on the University of Pittsburgh. I think as fine a negotiation as anybody could possibly make happen, and great credit to Dave Gavitt, Mike Tranghese, and this entire league.
The cheering you hear behind me, we're having a foul shooting contest of sorts by some of the boys from the dorms here. Some of them are hitting and some are not. You can tell when they do hit. Georgetown had a big win today. Pitt is next year. Georgetown is this year. They beat San Diego State today easily.
Well, you know that Georgetown is not going to fall asleep. I want to find out, Dave, how you can play in Alaska and not have it count. I should have played all my games in Alaska.
They lost 2 or 3 in the Alaska shootout, and they say they don't count in the record for some reason.
So they'll be back in business, and you know that Georgetown is going to be real tough. Sleepy Floyd and the big guy Patrick Ewing and their entire ball club. They only lost Frazier, I believe, their big center from the great ball club of last year.
If there's a sleeper in this league, and I don't know if there is such a thing, but people feel that Louis Carnesecca at St. John's may have his best team in years.
A sly fox, a very sly fox.
He'll poor-mouth you to death.
I think he's going to cry so much, Dave, but when all is said and done, he's got a great freshman, number of great freshmen, one a 7-footer. Someone told me the other night that Bob Kelly, the transfer from Holy Cross, didn't have a great night. He was an outstanding player at Holy Cross, so they've got depth, they've got bench, they've got big people. If you were to ask me who's going to win the league, I don't have any idea, Dave.
Providence College on the way back, hopefully.
The great White Fox back into action. Right back where he belongs at Providence College. Joe Mullaney, a genius in his own right, one of the old school. You know, I said many times, really and truly, Joe Mullaney is a survivor. I think coaching, as I've said so often, is like nuclear war, and they're only the survivors. Joe's a great survivor.
So before too long, the Big East play will commence, and it's going to be super. We look forward to it. We're going to have a number of games on Channel 3. There are a number of other outlets that are going to have a number of games, too, so people in the area are going to be able to see everybody throughout the season.
Dave, is there anything more exciting, really, than that college basketball that we see right here in the Big East Conference? I think it's created so much interest. Just, and I repeat, not to be redundant, but the conception of this league, the directors, Dave Gavitt, Mike Tranghese, and the coming of Pitt next year make it even, I can't believe where it's going to end up.
Our score at halftime, Connecticut leads Boston University 32-24. UConn came in here with 3 wins, or 2 wins, I should say, and no losses in the standings. They did beat Sabona of Yugoslavia, so they have played 3 games. They've won them all. Let's go back now and take a look and see how they got here tonight undefeated. This season's edition on display a week ago Wednesday against Sabona of Yugoslavia. Simply put, the Huskies were awesome. Never have they played so fine a half of basketball as they did that night. Chuck Alexanis was tough from outside and underneath as well. Corny Thompson, now in his senior year, showed he too is effective from both outside and inside, battling the tough Yugoslavs for the loose ball. Mike McKay, also in his senior year, helps out Vern Giscombe, ramming it through and getting the crowd interested as well. At the other end, meanwhile, Kresimir Kozic, formerly of Brigham Young University. You might remember him where he played so well there. He played well for the national team in Yugoslavia, too. Well, he helped keep his team in it by making baskets like this throughout the first half. But fast breaks like this one, with freshman Larry Blucher finishing it off, sent the Huskies off to a solid 84-71 win. And then there is Norman Bailey, starting at guard in his sophomore year. He played well, coming off that excellent freshman year. The Huskies, as a team, played superb basketball, tuning up for the opener last Saturday against Maine. The game at Portland Civic Center figured to be a Husky win, and it was. Maine hung tough, as Maine kids always do with Connecticut, but they always seem to come up short against Connecticut, too. With much tougher opposition down the road, Connecticut had to win this game. They hit underneath, and they bombed away. Maine kept it close, but Dom Perno had the first of what he hopes is another 20 wins. For that to happen, though, he needs his main man healthy. Corny Thompson went down in this game, sprained ankle, which causes concern. His teammates, though, carried on without him in this 68-53 victory, which brings us to New Hampshire last Wednesday night. For the first time since he was a sophomore in high school in Middletown, Corny Thompson missed a game. His ankle simply did not permit him to play. But then, he wasn't needed. The Wildcats of New Hampshire went down by 21, 87-68. An excellent first half by Connecticut blew them off. Mike McKay, high with 25 points, had an outstanding night. Carl Hobbs played well, too, here stealing the ball, taking it in for the easy layup. Norman Bailey has everyone talking about his play. In truth, though, no one had a bad night as the Connecticut Huskies improved their record to 2-0 going into tonight's game with Boston University.
Return to score in just a moment.
With Zero, Dave Smith back live at the University of Connecticut Fieldhouse at Storrs. UConn leads BU 32-24. The Terriers have been back on the court for a minute or so. UConn not making an appearance as yet. Earlier today, a big win for the University of Connecticut soccer team, a big win. For tomorrow, they will play Alabama A&M for all the marbles. The NCAA championship out at Stanford in Palo Alto, California. Pedro De Brito and Elvis Comray connected for goals in the first half. Eastern Connecticut got their goal, or Eastern Illinois, I should say, got their goal in the first half. The second half, a standoff. So UConn tomorrow at 5:30 plays for a national championship. The field hockey team won a national championship, the NCAA championship, earlier this fall.
Dave.
So there's an opportunity here for double win, double national championships in one season, and I think that would be unprecedented around these parts.
I would say so, and maybe in any part. It's a pretty good double dip. The women's soccer team came in third in the AIAW, so they had a heck of a year also.
Checking statistics from the first half, we see Connecticut hitting on 55% of its shots from the floor, only 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Boston University 11 for 23, 47-48%, and 2 of 6 from the free throw line as the Huskies now make their appearance out of the court.
Excuse me, the key, as I look at the stat sheet, is 7 turnovers for the University of Connecticut. That's composure. That was the thing Don Perno was most afraid of. They hadn't faced a pressing team all year. BU comes in with pressure, but the Huskies turned it over only 7 times. Real key in the first half.
As compared to Boston University, which turned it over 11 times.
See, when you get in a running game, though, you can turn over 18, 20, 22 times, and things can be going out the window for you pretty rapidly.
Jay Twyman has scored 9 points in the ball game. He is high for Boston University. Corny Thompson, 5 for 6 from the floor with 10 points. He did not make an appearance on the free throw line. He is high for Connecticut. Carl Hobbs has 8. Vernon Giscombe has 4. McKay has 2. Kaczynski has 2. Sullivan has 2. Alex Sinnis has 4.
I think Corny took a vow never to get hurt again.
I think he ought to. He's sorely missed when he's not around.
Well, I tell you, he's having a lot of fun tonight, and I love to see that. This is pressure basketball. People are expected to win. There's an awful lot of pressure on 18, 22-year-old kids. It's great to see the guy having fun.
The point scoring for Boston University, well distributed. Twyman with 9. Brett Brown has 6. Got 3 for 3 in the first 7 or 8 minutes of the game, and he never took another shot.
Right. Not many foul shots, Dave, on both clubs. 6 for BU and only 4 for Connecticut.
Gary Plummer, 2 for 4 from the field. He has 4 points. Arturo Brown, 1 for 3 from the field, 1 for 4 from the line for 3 points. And John Teague, 1 for 4 from the floor for 2 points for a total of 24. 32-24. As Ricky Pitino sends out Arturo Brown, Brett Brown in the backcourt, Plummer, Twyman, and Teague, the same 5 who started. The Huskies also send out the same 5 who started. Hobbs and Bailey in the backcourt. Alex Sinnis, McKay, and Corny up front. It will be UConn ball because the last jump ball went to BU. The next time there is a jump ball, no matter what the situation, the ball will belong to BU. And again, I just personally do not like the rule at all. I think it penalizes the defense if indeed they tie someone up and still have to lose the ball.
There's just so much excitement to me and possibilities, potential to come off a jump ball situation.
A whistle right away, a foul on Plummer, who's on the back of Alex Sinnis. So we'll take another look at that as the ball will go underneath the Chuck. See?
Here he is.
Geez,
A little bit of a touch on his waist. You know, Alex Sinnis is impossible to play from behind. He's got to be played from in front. You got to get weak side help.
Seemed like an awfully cheap foul to me. Let him play.
BU sets 2-3 zone.
More fast by Bailey, and Hobbs knocks it away. And Mike McKay converts.
That's a big bucket. Big bucket. And those quick hands of Kyle Hobbs and Norman Bailey made that happen.
So a 10-point lead for Connecticut. 34-24. Alex Sinnis just ran Brett Brown over and no one saw him do it.
Rick Pitino saw him do it.
Yeah. I stand corrected. He did. He was up like a duck. This is Teague over Bailey. Pretty play by John Teague.
Good shot because Bailey had his hand right in his face.
So again, an 8-point ball game. We'll see if Michael's got a spot. No, I guess not. Now look at Bailey all over the floor. He causes the turnover if indeed Connecticut maintains it. Now it goes off the foot of Mike McKay, but Bailey just causing havoc in the backcourt.
Both BU kids and the Huskies right on the floor after that ball. Good play by Brett Brown. Good dive, and it hits. I think that was Michael on the foot.
All right, we're back live in the forecourt. This is Wyman. Teague is hit from behind, and the ball there, the foul on Norm Bailey, and that is 4. So Tom Verno is going to have to go to his bench. Giscombe is up, so Vernon will check in, and Norman will have to sit out for a length of time with the 4 fouls.
Don Perno will go with the midget backfield right now.
There were times last season when the Huskies would get in trouble with the 2 little guys in the backcourt. They couldn't get down low with the bigger guards.
I think with the experience of Norman Bailey, an extra year for Mike McKay, that won't happen again.
Plummer's shot was missed. Wyman fighting for the rebound, and he travels with the ball. We'll take another look at it as Pitino is up again. He, like any coach, he wants every call. You decide.
Yes,
he did.
He did,
absolutely.
Move that pivot foot. We've seen Corny Thompson in all spots here.
21st shot of the second half. He is now 6 for 7 for the ball game.
Dave, he took it out of bounds. He was the trailer. He looped behind, and then he took it in the middle on the break. You can't ask for much more. Then stuck it in the hole.
And we have seen nothing to indicate that he has any problem at all with that ankle that was sprained in Maine a week ago. Oh, pretty tip by Twyman. Unfortunately for him, it would not fall.
I'll tell you, big guy Thompson is getting out quickly on the break as well.
Not that time. Here is Hobbs. Has the ball stripped away from him. And he was in there with the big guys. You almost lose him in there. Boston University needs a basket.
Huskies in man-to-man defense.
Well, the loop's going over, and a whistle and a foul on Chuck Alexanis.
Good active defense by Connecticut there.
Take a look at it. Alexanis from behind. Perhaps an elbow on the head.
When you get hit by him, I think you're going to feel it too, Dave.
So Jay Twyman will be on the line as BU trails by 10 with 17:01 remaining in our ball game tonight.
Dave, you know what, Chuck? I'd hate to be coming over that Morris Mountain walking alone and have him after me.
Well, he's such a gentle fellow.
Unless maybe he gets mad at you.
And I think that's been one of the, if there have been knocks on Chuck, and anybody who's ever played college basketball has taken the shots from somebody, They say that the knock might be that he's not aggressive enough.
Well, I think he's been very aggressive, very active this year, and I think he's had a fine year. He just wrapped somebody in the head. Teague, I think, right then.
36-27. As Twyman only make 1 of 2, and now we have a charge on Giscombe as Teague was there. And we'll take another look at that, D.
That's a good call. The defender had both feet in position. Don Perno didn't say a word. If you scout the coaches, Dave, you can almost be sure whether it's a good call or a bad call.
That's the first place I looked.
Huskies go back in man, and tough man at that. Michael McKay working like crazy on defense.
Arturo Brown way off the mark, but he collects his own rebound. Here is Brett Brown. That's his first miss of the night. And from behind, Cornelius knocks the ball away from Plummer.
I've never seen Connecticut so active chasing the ball. Everybody got a hand. Now a great defensive play right there.
And as we come back, we have a whistle on the play. And a foul was called.
I think it's on Alex Ennis.
On Alex Ennis. And before we have free throws, we will have a timeout on the floor. 16:31 remaining in the game. The Huskies lead it 36-27. With D. Rowe, Dave Smith, Packet Stores. Chuck Alex Ennis, his 3rd foul, has him on the bench. Larry Blucher is in. Kaczynski is in. Giscombe and Hobbs remain in the backcourt. Arturo Brown will be on the line to shoot a pair of free throws.
Don Perno making a change here with Alex Ennis, Dave. I think not only to rest him, but he doesn't want him to get that 4th foul and have to go to the bench too early.
And Thompson will sit it out for a while as well. They didn't want him to go 40 minutes.
No, it couldn't be expected after the week off. I would say this. I think Connecticut's bench is going to be extremely instrumental in their success and hopes for another 20-win season this year.
Arturo Brown looking sharp on both of those free throws. Now the press in the backcourt, 36-29 our score. And the little guys do it the way you're supposed to, but that Hobbs throws it away. Johnny Ray Wall with the steal.
Excuse me, they've got to have a bounce pass there.
And Plummer converts at the other end. It is 36-31. We had a 10-point lead for the Huskies. Now it is 5. Hobbs loses it out of bounds.
Watch Don Perno look for a timeout here.
Well, he's telling his charges to slow down, take your time.
That's the composure that we talked about early in the show.
Well, here's the ball out of bounds. And as we come back live, the steal by Blucher, but he'll throw it away. UConn out of control.
Super play by Blucher that time.
And a foul on Hobbs reaching in on Brett Brown. And the Huskies, 4 minutes, 9 seconds into the half, will replace Hobbs with Jimmy Sullivan. They have committed 5 personal fouls, 5 team fouls, while BU has committed 1.
And Thompson is back in the ball game along with Jimmy Sullivan.
Well, Coney didn't get the rest perhaps Ian Opie would, as BU is right back in it. Not that they were ever out of it. The steal by Mike McKay. Now Giscombe. Well, the fast break wasn't there, and Corney didn't have a shot. Now he does. That is way off the mark. Giscombe is there. He can't score, but Wall got a piece of him, so Giscombe will go to the line for a pair, and we'll take another look at it.
Here's Vernon Giscombe right under the hoop, goes up with a shot and gets hit on the shot by Johnny Ray Wall.
So Giscombe shooting 8 for 9 from the free throw line coming in here, 89%, which of course is just shy of excellent.
Now there's just a great feeling, I'm sure, of faith and confidence when you've got number 52 in the ball game, and it just cuts back a little bit on the BU run.
It is not Vern Giscombe, it is Vernon. We have heard from his mother, who has informed everyone that covers the games, the publicity department here, that it is Vernon. So that's what it shall be.
Vernon, I understand, has a brother at Columbia, another one at Amherst College.
Not bad. Played his high school ball at Cardinal Hayes High School in New York.
Had a great coach there, Tom Murray. Just outstanding.
37-31.
2-3 set by Connecticut, and they want to be real active. They want BU to beat them from outside, but not in low.
Brett Brown, not this time. Loose ball, and Kaczynski showing some muscle as he tossed Earl Brown to the floor. Here's McKay, underneath Thompson, all alone. And the crowd has come alive at scores.
And the Huskies come back in pressure.
Johnny Ray Wall had a 2-on-1, pass it up. This is Teague.
Kaczynski a bear off that backboard.
Gisco, it will hang off the rim. And Rick Pitino wants to slow it down. Good timeout called by the coach of the Boston University Terriers. The Huskies lead at 41-31. We'll return to Storrs in just a moment. Back live at Storrs, the cheerleading contingent here for the University of Connecticut, putting on, they love to build things. They do more building than any cheerleading crew I've ever seen.
Dave, I tell you who has been building this thing in this 10-point lead. Bruce Kaczynski has been a tower of strength on that backboard, and also the 2-3 zone has been extremely active. Sullivan and Thompson back in the ball game has helped also. Obviously, Corney's presence means an awful lot.
Gisco causes the turnover. He's got Sullivan to his left. And the ball was not going to
Got a
go.
goaltending.
Calling goaltending. Take another look at it. The ball was not going to go in.
The ball was in or on the cylinder, and the hoop was touched, so the ball was touched, and that's goaltending.
So now the 12-point lead by Connecticut at 43-21.
Huskies change their defense, Dave. They go 1-2-2 with Cuzzy at 6'10" on the point. He'll drop low to shut off the middle with the ball into the corner. But he's also got to get back out on Johnny Ray.
Here is Teague, and a whistle and a foul. The foul is on Gisco. We'll take another look at it. And the Huskies trying to play the tough defense. And Vernon reaching in with the left hand, got a piece of it.
In the 1-2-2, Dave, you've got to shut off the middle. That's normally Cuzzy's spot if he's up high. I think he went low and couldn't get back out. Vernon Giscombe got caught.
So John Teague will be on the line. 13 for 17 from the line through the first 3 games for BU. BU beat St. Francis of New York 87-76, Delaware State 88-67, and Massachusetts 91-65 just last Thursday night. 1 of 2 for Teague, 43-32. And from behind, Teague a little too aggressive.
So you got Sully doing a little jitterbug. The ball came up court, and Sully knew the man was behind, and he stuttered a little bit with the dribble and drew the foul. Good play by Sullivan.
Only the 3rd team foul for BU. On the Huskies' next foul, there will be the 1-on-1 situation. They have 6.
You've got a 2-2-1 half-court press by Boston University.
This is Mike McKay. He buries it. And the Huskies have their largest margin, 45-32. And now a foul again by Vern Giscombe as he is
Jimmy O'Brien.
aggressive too.
Excuse me, Dave. Jimmy O'Brien yelling at Vernon from the bench. In control, in control. He's got tremendous quickness.
The clock shows 13-17. Seems like we've had an awful lot of basketball played in this game. We've got a long way to go.
Been a great game. Still 13 to go, as you say, and there's plenty of basketball left.
Brett Brown will shoot the 1-and-1.
How do you think Joe Maroney was, Dave, the last 13 minutes?
Joe Maroney, the coach of the soccer team for Connecticut. as they go into the championship game tomorrow against Alabama A&M, a team that played here, I believe it was a 1-1 tie.
I saw it 1-1. It was just a spectacular game, one of the greatest soccer games I've ever seen.
That was the first miss of the season for Brown. He was 12 for 12, now 12 for 13. But BU has another shot. As
Bodies are all over the court.
Jimmy Sullivan was gunned down.
I tell you, Sully's motor really goes in this 2-3 zone.
Well, Sully's a Boston kid. A little more adrenaline, you think, playing a Boston team?
Absolutely. He just loves to play. He's thrilled to be a part of it this year.
Jay Twyman. Oh, pretty move with the right hand, collecting his own rebound. 45-35.
Great follow then by Jay.
Here's Michael.
Gives Sullivan the assist.
Great pass by Sullivan. The pass way down court, and Teague able to save it. Bounces it off Thompson, but it doesn't go out of bounds.
They're going to wait for the big guy. This is where they want to keep that composure, not go crazy.
Well, McKay, as you say that, Dave, with a poor pass underneath, knocked away.
They want to work, then they could build it to 14, and there's trouble.
Here's the steal by Sullivan, and Plummer paid no attention to him as he was looking underneath.
How about Jimmy Sullivan? The natives love him anyway, and he's really had a fine ball game.
Kozinski from the baseline, way off the mark, and Teague had it all alone underneath for the rebound. Here is Brett Brown, and a foul on Jim Sullivan. Verno's off the bench, doesn't like the call. But nevertheless, I thought the call had to be made.
I tell you, Sully went over and made something happen, and he had Brett Brown going down. Sully's got to give him room, but Brett Brown is looking at Sullivan and maybe is going to kick it off his leg.
So Brown is on the line for the 1-on-1. And if BU is going to climb back into this one, when they're on the line, and they're going to be there the rest of the night, every time the whistle blows against Connecticut. No basket. Arturo Brown was in the lane. An incredible mistake.
You know, games have momentum and tempo, and this one is like going the Huskies' way right here, and when you get those little breaks.
Joe Mingle on the call. He detected Brown's foot in the lane when the free throw was shot. That, of course, a violation, so the ball goes over.
Corny's got those good hands, that cool head. He's a heck of a ball handler. He sees the whole floor. And not a bad shooter.
No, he can do it from outside. He can do it from underneath. And here's the steal by Kozinski, Mike McKay. And he is fouled.
And a foul. Here it comes to play. And he gets hit. Crowd is alive, David.
The crowd on their feet. The Huskies with a 51-35 margin. We have a timeout again. So let's return to our studios for these commercial announcements. As we return to scores, you can see the steal by Bruce Kozinski. He's just so important for this Connecticut basketball team.
Dave, when you've got 6'10" on the point, a great play by Don Perner to come back with the full court pressure after that score prior to the defensive setup. Because he's 6'10", quick, he's much more aggressive than most people would think. And he's got a long, long reach. He really made that happen, and Michael comes in with the three-pointer, or the possible three-pointer.
Mike McKay, 10 points on the evening.
I tell you, Sullivan's seen more action tonight than he had all last year, maybe, and you know he's going to be loving it. They changed the pressure now. It's 2-2-1, three-quarter.
Well, the Huskies here looking for the kill, if you will. Corny has said in the past that certain times, certain seasons, the team lacked that killer instinct. Well, perhaps we're seeing it tonight. Jay Twyman with an errant pass.
Dave, I got to credit the defense. Everybody's hedging, getting in passing lanes.
I love these BU kids, Steve. They're all over the floor. They're way down, but they're still up. They're playing the game.
Assist McKay.
$18 points for Cornelius Thompson. 54-35.
Mike McKay then, Dave, he didn't dribble. He just handed the ball off and dished it off very smartly.
This is Teague, and batted away underneath, and put back up in by Arturo Brown. Good play by Arturo.
Sully's going to need a heart transplant after this.
Here's Michael. Oh, Kaczynski got way up in the air for that one.
Mike McKay is playing real loose, Dave. This is the way he can play basketball.
We are under 10 minutes now at 9:55.
Big key for Connecticut here is not to let Boston University up.
If you've never seen a game televised from here or watched a game here, when you hear the band, you hear the crowd, you can see why this building has the reputation that it does. It is just awfully tough for visiting teams to come in here and win a basketball game. I recall a few years ago when Holy Cross had such a great team, Ronnie Perry's freshman year. Here's Corny. They only lost one game in New England, and it was in this building, the year they went to the NCAA tournament.
Right. That was a great play by Kaczynski, making the tap off the rebound to Thompson. This 2-3 defense has been the key, Dave. They've just been so aggressive. Rick Pitino misses Tony Sims here. They're probably their best player, who's been out injured for 2 weeks.
Nice patient work by Boston University. The crowd doesn't like the call, but Kaczynski was all over John Teague.
Listen to the hand maybe here for Sullivan, or should be. Here's the play. Definite foul by Cuzzy, but the natives don't want anything going against Connecticut right now, Dave.
We have yet another timeout, so we will pause for these announcements with UConn leading 54-37. That's it. That's it.